Thanks to German Knife Shop for sponsoring Everyday Tactical Vids. German-knife-shop.com.
Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this, which is the Tiara C1 from ArmyTek. So this is a headlamp that you can convert into an EDC light. There's your little clip there. I've got it set up as the headlamp now, as you can tell. Let me put it on my head and just show you what that looks like. So it doesn't have the strap that goes over the top of your head, but that's that. You can see actually one of the cool features is that it's got the button on the side. I actually prefer that when it's in EDC mode as opposed to this. That's kind of where my hand naturally falls. I take it out and yeah, I can do this, but my hand kind of falls. I tend to hold it like this. Some people might do this, but I tend to hold it like this when I'm using it as an EDC light. So that's something to know about. It is rechargeable, USB rechargeable. Let me roll in some footage here so you can see what that looks like. Big beefy charger with a standard USB port on the end. So when it's red, it's charging. When it's green, it's fully charged. That's nice. Some people, they have issues with a proprietary plug. I get that. You know, micro USB or USB-C can be really good. But these things are big and hefty. And honestly, I don't know, maybe once I've lost a charger that's proprietary, like Olight has proprietary chargers. To me, I don't mind one or the other. I can see the advantage of both sides. The magnetic thing, I do like that it just clicks in and gets charging up. You do have to make sure that when you charge it, you basically untwist the bottom a tiny bit and then it'll be charging. If you twist it and attach it, it's not going to be, it'll be flashing, basically saying there's some issue with the charging process. So just want to let you know about that. Let me put the clip on here. I'll show you what that actually looks like. It does rest nice and deep in your pocket. So that's cool. I mean, you can see just a tiny bit sticking up there. And again, you take it out, and for me, you know, turning it on like so is how it would operate. Let me give you a real quick update on your lumen output. I've got all the information right here. So you've got two firefly settings, which I've mentioned in another video from ArmyTek. That's kind of a thing they do. I've never seen that before in another company that does multiple firefly settings. So you have a 0.4 lumens that's going to run for 60 days, and then you have 2.5 lumens that's going to run for 8 days. Then it's going to go 34, 90, and 220. Your 34 lumens is for 15 hours, your 90 lumens is for 6.5, and your 220 is for 2.4 hours. And then your turbo is 900 lumens, that's going to run for 30 minutes. So one of their claims to fame is how durable their lights are. This says it's going to be good down to 10 meters underwater. What I can tell you is all the ArmyTek flashlights that I've seen so far, which this is the first stretch I've ever actually reviewed some. I've seen a lot of them in the past, but I just never got around to actually testing them. They do feel really durable. They've got a really like metallic feel to the light. So yeah, they do seem quite durable, quite strong. And yeah, I mean 10 meters, I'm definitely not diving down to 10 meters with this, so I'm not going to need that, but they do seem rugged and sturdy. This for me as an EDC light, I like this as an EDC light. I like the size of it and also how deep it rides in my pocket. So there's a quick rundown on the light as far as the details. Now I'm going to roll in some nighttime footage and show you what it looks like in use, and then we'll come back here and let you know my thoughts on the light. There are some pluses definitely, and I want to let you know a couple minuses as well. Okay, we're outside with the Tiara now. Let me show you the two firefly settings. Here's 0.4. And then here's 2.5. Okay, let's move on to the three main settings. It's going to be 34, 90, and 220. So here we go. There's 34. There's 90. Here's 220. It's pretty blinding here, as you can see on camera. So that's some up close work with the Tiara. Okay, we're back at about 50 feet away from my cars. Once again, we're going to go to the three main settings. So that's 34, 90, and 220. Here we go. There's 34. I can definitely see it with the human eye. I definitely can't see it too well on camera though. Let's go up to 90 here. A little bit better. Let's go up to 220. Definitely good light with the 220. Now let's go up to the 900. Okay, we're back at about 70 feet away from the cars. Let's give you the three settings again: 34, 90, and 220.
34. Can't see much here. Let's go 90. I could see the front yard pretty well. I could see a little bit down to the driveway. Let's go up to that 220. Somebody's car alarm in the distance. Let's do the 900 here. So when I shine it basically between the garbage cans at the end of the driveway and where the cars are, I can see the entire driveway, and I would say probably I don't know, 75% of the front yard.
All right, using another one of their lights over here, just want to show you what it looks like on my head here. It's a little bit tough to see in the nighttime, but that's how it rests. And yeah, comfortable, does the job. I mean, you can use it as an EDC or you can use it as a headlamp, obviously. All right, so as you can see, the light definitely works. Puts out a good amount of output, and then, you know, from less than a lumen to up to 900 lumens, that's a really nice range. I do like lights that you can use as an EDC light that are effective for that can get converted into a headlamp. So I think that's definitely a win. For me, headlamp or EDC, this is going to be an EDC light for me. I'm going to tend away from it being a headlamp for me. Now the reason I say that is this right here. So there's basically your little prongs to get attached in. There's two little grooves, one like here and one there. Slide it in, good to go. Now here's the challenge, is that because it slides in so easily, see it's facing up now. Imagine I'm running or jogging. You're going to see this thing starts to rotate down. It's not a ton, but you could see it's already pointing down a little bit more than it was. So let's point it up, and let's just say I'm running, jogging, hiking through the woods, whatever it is. You can see it starts to go down. That's just too loose. And because these are plastic, there's no way to tighten them. You know, it's not like it's metal and you can crank something down and make them tighter. You can squeeze them like this, and then you'll see when this locks in, it's gonna lock it a little bit more firmly, but eventually that's gonna loosen up, I think, and that's gonna start moving again. So, I mean, that's something I would change in the future. I don't know, I think it's Olight who has one that's like a rubber wraparound that kind of locks in. It does make it a little bit harder to adjust it up and down, but it does also guarantee the lock-in more effectively. So it's not a deal breaker as far as if I was gonna buy this light and use it as a headlamp, but if I'm gonna be like mountaineering, rock climbing, spelunking, a lot of activity, you know, moving around, if I'm gonna be hiking, not just kind of like, oh, I'm using it at night around camp, but I'm gonna be hiking aggressively or backpacking, I'm gonna want something that's gonna lock in a little bit more firmly as far as the movement. But that's the one thing so far that I've seen about it that I don't like. The output is good, the quality, the construction is good, but just something to be aware of as far as that movement thing, something I would tweak in the future if I were them, so I get a more firm lock-in for the light when it's in the headlamp setup. So depending on where you pick this up, it's gonna run you 60 or 70 bucks. I said this in another video recently that to me, something I gotta figure out longer term is the durability of these lights, because if they're super durable, you know, they never break, they hold up for a long time, then that investment up front is gonna be worthwhile in the long term. And that's something to think about. I haven't had any interaction with their customer service so far. The lights have worked well, but you know, you spend 40 bucks and get a light that breaks in 4 or 5 weeks or 4 or 5 months, and you gotta spend 40 bucks again. Well, now you're up to 80 bucks as opposed to a one-time investment at 70 bucks. So that's just something to be aware of. And as I mentioned, this you know, this little element here that it can shift while it's in there. Something to be aware of. I was able to kind of squeeze this down, and it doesn't lock in place. It's going to eventually move out, but the more I squeeze it and the tighter it gets, it does seem to hold it much more firmly as I put it from EDC mode into headlamp mode. All right, guys, so there's some thoughts on the Tiara C1 USB rechargeable EDC / headlamp. Let's hear your thoughts, especially if you've had ArmyTek lights before. Do you like them? Have they lasted? What are the advantages of them? One thing I didn't mention that I do like about this quite a bit is that big, beefy magnetic base. Sometimes you get these little puny ones. I mean, that thing is like click, it's locked in, it's ready to go. So that's a plus for me. But I want to hear your thoughts on ArmyTek and this light in particular, if you own it, pluses and minuses. I always, you know, get a light and I think, how could I use this? What are the applications? And then the question is, do I use it in those applications? This one I'm gonna find a place for, because I have liked this one. It's a cool light. And then the big question for me is, you know, will that plastic stay stable and strong so I can use it in the headlamp setting? I'll probably replace a night core flashlight that I keep in my kitchen, take that one out, put this one in, and this will be my light when I head out into the night to walk the dogs or take stuff to the compost bin, whatever it might be, just so I can get some more experience with it. But let's hear your thoughts in the comment section about this light and other ArmyTek products. All right, guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.